I never made it, but I know what it takes. I'm motivated by a mix of emotion. Got my statement, and I'm reading it slow.
All right, Matea Babcock here, back with a harmony moment for you. I'm still working the same horse, and she's a Tennessee walker, and I'm going to show you my little pre-flight check before I get on and ride her. I've already warmed her up. We've done walk, trot, canter, hind quarter yields, and back up. So now I just want to check to make sure I have some steering before I jump on her. So I know she's been ridden a lot on trails. She's obviously very friendly. Nice horse. So I just want to check a few things out. One of the number one things I find with almost every training horse that comes in, no matter what level they are, I usually have to tune up their backup. Sometimes it's practically non-existent because the owners never do it and they don't get their horses soft off of it. So I can practice this just by holding on to both reins and pulling back, and then I can use the end of my popper if she doesn't back up. So that was good, except she stopped, right? So I can feel her pushing into my hand a little bit, and then I'm gonna release. Gonna put some pressure on. That's opposition reflex. So that's a little resistance. Anytime I feel that I'd rather be over there, I'm gonna put a little more pressure on, because that's telling me her mind isn't where in what I'm asking her to do, which is backing up. So that was nice, but she kind of assumed, right? So I'll come back to that in a minute. That was a lot better. The next thing I'm gonna do is work on these hind quarter yields. So I can use either my rein, or I have a nice little Matea lead rope here. So I'm gonna tip her nose towards me, and I can use the stirrup, or I can use my thumb, and I'm gonna put it back here by the back cinch and see what happens. Will she move her hip over? I'm gonna ask again. That was very nice. And a good rule of thumb is, can I get 3 steps in a row? That's great, especially with a young horse. You know, I don't want my horse rushing through this. I want nice rhythm and relaxation, because that means I have understanding. So my hind quarter yield button is right here, right in front of that back cinch. Let's see. And I got 4 steps in a row. And then I always like to come up and rub on them. You know, I should be able to rub gently up in here. They shouldn't kick me, that type of stuff. I should also be able to throw this up and over, because that's what my leg's gonna do in a minute. She's like, oh, where did that come from? I didn't see it the first time. That's okay. Just gonna keep her nose tipped. So that's a hole. I just found a hole in her training. Probably no one's ever done this with her. And she thinks I want her to go forward. And I don't necessarily want her to go forward. I just want her to stand nice and calm and know this is friendly. So nothing about my energy should be excited, right? I'm just swinging this lead rope. I'm not even looking at her. Just kind of keeping her in there. I was able to do it. She didn't move anywhere. Yeah, I should be able to do this. It means nothing to my horse if I'm not intent. You know, it's the difference between a border collie and a Labrador. You know, I should be able to come up here all friendly, you know, and not have an issue. And she just doesn't know the difference yet between friendly energy and driving energy. Good girl. So you can see her ears are back. She's a little worried. Not too sure about that, but she's tolerating it. That's the first step. So I'm gonna just take all the pressure off her, turn my belly button away, and give her some relief. Let her process that. She's like, oh, well, why didn't you tell me I was supposed to stand still? So I should be able to walk in here again. And I try not to pop them on the other side, but sometimes it happens. And this doesn't necessarily mean that I wouldn't ride her today, because a lot of horses have trouble with this just because no one's ever done it with them before. And that's what it feels like with her. Now, when I won't ride them over this is when, you know, a half hour later they're still running around in a little circle, they're emotional, they're really sweaty, or they're bucking. You know, I want to get that worked through before I get on them. But with her, I'm not too worried. It's just a little hole that I can work through here in a couple minutes. I want to be able to throw it up and over her back just a few times. And see, now she has the understanding. She knows that I just want her to stand still. She's doing it. So, you know, that's a very good sign to me. She's trying to partner up with me and be a good horse. That was just something she hadn't experienced before. So back to what I was doing. We're gonna do hind quarter yields on this side. I always want to check out both sides and make sure she can do hind quarter yields. And make sure they're not goosey back here. Some horses get really goosey if your leg slides back here. You want to know that before you get on, not when your heel accidentally slides back there when you're riding and they bolt off and take off bucking. So those are just a few little things I like to check out.